evening, everyone. I'm Kelvin, your host of Situations the Podcast.
And I'm Miss Deanna, your co-host. What's up, guys?
How everybody out there doing today? Y'all know how you doing today?
I'm doing good, and you?
I'm doing pretty good. You ready for this weather change?
Yeah, I'm ready for the fall.
All right.
got my Mary thigh high boots ready.
Oh, okay. I know you're gonna come prepared. I know you ready. Okay, today we have a special guest today, and
Okay.
today's topic we're gonna be discussing mental health. Um,
Okay.
but before I bring her on,
Mhm.
I'm going to give her a warm welcome that she
Okay.
deserves. So
Okay.
give me 1 second, and that way I can figure out how I want to introduce her.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go like this. Today we have a trailblazing model whose influence extends far beyond the runway and photo shoots. With a striking presence and unwavering commitment to social change, she is just not redefining beauty standards, but also championing crucial causes. As an activist for mental health, sparking conversations and inspiring actions, whether grazing magazine covers or leading impactful campaigns, she merges fashion with activism, providing the style, substance, and can walk, providing, proving that style and substance can walk hand in hand. Get ready to be inspired by a force that's transforming the industry and making a difference in the world. Let's give a warm welcome to none other than Nikki Smalls.
Hi.
Hi.
Nikki, how you
That was
doing
a great
today?
introduction. Don't make me cry.
Hey, like I said, when I have guests, certain guests, I have to make sure I do it the right way. I got to make sure I give you guys the proper introduction. But how you doing today?
I'm good. I'm just blessed to be on this podcast with you guys. And, I'm just very thankful for this opportunity to talk to y'all about, sexy and fun at the same time.
Absolutely,
Mhm.
absolutely. Just so y'all know, Nikki is a really good friend of mine. She's all the way from Denver, Colorado. She's here in Illinois right now. But we'll talk about that a little later. But Nikki, um, question for you.
Yes, sir.
Tell us a little about why you feel so strongly about mental health.
I'm really strong about mental health and suicide prevention because 3 years ago in January, I lost my brother to suicide. And ever since I've lost him to suicide, I felt like I had a calling to help men in taking the first step to speak up. Because if we can't get a man to speak up, then how can we know that they need help? So
Right.
I started the initiative for men's mental health awareness in honor of my brother that I just lost to suicide.
Okay. And how long ago you said it's been?
3 years.
3 years ago, and you're still moving forward with the activism.
Of course. I mean, I feel like men need an outlet. Men need to be able to speak up and say something. They're at the end of the day, they are human. So we
Right.
got to support our men.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. So give us a little more detail. Give the world a little more detail about, the preventions and the things that you're doing. Let's talk about the bowling, outlets and all that stuff.
So my nonprofit is called the Junior Joker Foundation. We are focusing on men's mental health awareness. We put on awareness events called Bowling for Brain Health to bring awareness in a fun and an inviting way because most men, they don't want to hear a lecture. They're not going to go get a therapist. They're not going to walk into community rooms. So I try to create a fun and inviting way like bowling for men to come for the cause. We have celebrities who verse each other for the cause, artists, DJs, promoters, I just did my fourth annual one in Denver. We had special two Chicago's finest, foreign Dawn for Black Ink crew come. Thanks to them, they're gonna help me put one on in Chicago. But our goal is to just get men in taking the first steps in speaking up, and after they speak up, we'll try to help them get free therapy sessions because a lot of people just can't afford therapy. So once they do speak up, we'll find those therapy options.
Right. Okay. Let me ask you this: how can one recognize if one has a mental illness?
It's not even, that's the scary part about it, that most men will act happy, act cool, act smiling. So if if a man is even coming to you and saying that they're not okay, we just got to take heed to it that they're not okay. But most of the signs you will not recognize because they hide it way too well. I mean, look at Twitch. He was smiling and happy and nobody thought it would happen. So
Yeah.
it's just, sometimes the signs are just not going to be there.
Right. What do you think the signs would be in, like the mood, the behavior, things of that nature?
With my brother particularly, it was his actions, his mood, the things he was doing was just normal. And sometimes, like the Twitch situation with Twitch, it'll just happen all of a sudden. You will have no clue. So it just
Yeah.
kind of, you have to kind of know that person. You know what I mean? You just got to know who that
Right.
person's normal is, right?
Right. That's what I was gonna say. Just like everybody's on social media and on the go all the time. I think we just need to put a little more tender love and care into paying attention to the people around us a little more closely. Because, if they're extra quiet, if they're sleeping all the time, if their appetite changes, just different little things that, you probably can just pay a little more attention to.
And some people will hide behind their social media. They act happy on their social media, but really deep down, they're
Right.
not happy, right?
Right.
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 So so what are some common mental health disorders?
um, I mean, there's PTSD that people have from being veterans, like ex-veterans have PTSD. There's autism. There's all different kinds. I just chose mental health because if we can't get, because a man's mental is just very important, that leads someone to the suicide option. So
Right.
that's why I
Right.
just picked mental health because we all have thoughts in our brain, anxiety, anxious, we have things going on. Since the
Right.
pandemic, the epidemic has gotten worse because, during the pandemic, men couldn't provide the way they wanted to. It's not their fault.
Right.
It was
Right.
the situation they were in.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think schizophrenia and bipolar disorder fall under that category as well.
Yeah.
Right.
So
So
go ahead, Theodore. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say I try to have an open door policy for, all the men that are in my life and try to create a safe place for them to talk, and express themselves and communicate. But when a person is shutting down or they have, past traumas or different things going on that didn't stem from you, how do you help them still? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I mean, most men that I've talked to since this journey have told me
Hmm.
that they just want to vent. They just want someone to talk to. No
Right.
matter, but
Okay.
every time they go or approach someone they feel they could trust to talk to, they
Hmm.
don't want to listen. They'll be like, oh, grow up. Oh, don't be a pussy about it. Oh, even
Yeah.
their girlfriend wives will be
Hmm.
like, well, just grow up and be a man. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So I think
Yeah.
it's just, most people I know, men I know, just want to be heard. They just want to have someone
Hmm.
to vent to, let it out, and then they are okay, but they don't have an outlet to vent to anybody because they get judged.
Hmm. Okay. But no, but that's what I'm saying. I get that part, but I'm like, but sometimes some men shut down when you are that outlet. So it's
Correct.
like, what do you do then? It's like you're available, you're trying to help, but they don't want to let down the masculine or the ego, you know what I'm saying, to be vulnerable enough to express what they need to get out,
Right. I mean,
you know?
sometimes you just got to be the right person and they will. I've been
Yeah,
blessed that a lot of men come to me and felt comfortable because of me telling the story about my brother. And then they feel
yeah,
more comfortable because I've been able to
right,
relate. So, I mean, I guess
Right.
we just got to be more relatable. And if they don't open up, just keep checking
Right.
on them. You never know.
Right.
They might one day, because then they'll get more
Right.
comfortable speaking to you, right?
Right.
Right. So, what role does social support play in mental health?
I think social support is a big part of it. I mean, most men are in mental health, they feel alone. So that's where we start getting the thoughts and we start second guessing ourselves or thinking about things. So, I mean, I feel like even just check on your strong friend, just call somebody and
Right.
say, hey, you know what? I'm thinking about you. Are you okay? Or, but a lot of men don't have that. Even if you do have a girlfriend, boyfriend, sibling, whatever is going
Right.
on, sometimes it's just the thought of, hey, how are you doing today? Hey, you're doing a good job. Thank you for just being in my life. Sometimes that can make a
Right.
big difference.
Right.
Well, with all that you've been through in the last several years, and you've been uh, faithfully, how is your mental health?
I have days where I go up and down. I have days where I feel guilty I couldn't save them. I have days where I feel like I'm a failure. Then I have days where people approach me and say, "Thank you for what you're doing." I mean, I just lost somebody, and I wish I had a way to have them remembered. So it
Right.
goes up and down depending on the day. So
Right.
Okay. Are you seeking?
I mean,
Are you seeking uh, health? I mean, are you seeking someone to talk to? And is this something that runs in the family, or what?
It's not a. I have seek therapy through an organization in Colorado called Struggle Love Foundation. They give up to 20 free therapy sessions for those who need it. And I had bad experiences in my childhood as going to two therapists, so I was just like, nope, I don't want to do it. But I got paired with the right person. I got paired with the right
mhm.
therapist. And what we did was called target therapy, where she's trying to help me learn to live on without him here. How am I supposed
Right.
to move on? How am I supposed to
Mhm.
grieve? How am I supposed to be this person when my brother, is such a part of me as well? So that
Right.
really helped me try to just get, not feeling as guilty, or just
Yeah.
having the right therapist match is it works. Sometimes you get a therapist and they're just not a match for you. They're not going to
Right.
work.
Right.
Then you had something you wanted to say before I cut you off?
I was gonna say I actually had an incident where 6 years ago, my mom had 5 kids, three
Hmm.
girls. I mean, 3 boys and 2 girls. So my oldest and youngest brother had a fight, and my oldest brother said my youngest brother was choking him out. Um, and he said he thought he stabbed him in the leg. He stabbed him in the heart, and he died. And he
Mm,
went to jail. I mean, there was alcohol and drugs involved or whatever, and he was in jail for 6 years. And we went to all the court dates. It made the front page news in Kankakee. And I talked to him every day. I sent him money. I told him I still love him. I never treated him any different. But a lot of other people in the family, was having a hard time, processing and dealing with what happened. And so
right.
then 2 years ago, my mom, she had a broken heart and stuff like that, and she died. And then last year, my brother that had stabbed the youngest one, he got out of jail, and we had a Mother's Day brunch, able to attend. And I was just telling him I'll meet him out and bring him food and stuff like that. And I think he just really wanted to be around us, because when we had my mom's funeral, while he was in jail, just for him to see his mom in a casket. And so then he got out of jail and he overdosed because he couldn't deal
Wow.
with the pressure of everything. So
Right.
it was a lot to deal with, and I felt a whole type of different emotions. I was hurt, I was confused, I was upset, then I was ashamed, because it was like, how do you do that? And sometimes we don't always get along with our siblings or family members or whatever, but I just say just block them, or if you can walk away or something like that, before it goes too far, or too many substances get involved where you lose sight of everything. But growing up, they were trying to get him therapy and stuff like that, so he actually did have some mental issues going on, and everybody tried to help him and stuff like that or whatever. But it's unfortunate, now it's like half of my family is gone. because he didn't get the help that he needed.
Right. Well, let me ask you this, Deanna. Even in that
Yeah.
situation, how are you dealing
Hmm.
with how are you dealing with your tragedies?
Uh, I got a chance to talk to someone about it, and um, you know, it's kind of tough. It's like because when you're used to calling your people or seeing them, or when we do have family things that I go to and stuff like that, it's evident they're not there, any of them. So it's like a bittersweet moment, or when their birthdays come up, or when Mother's Day come up. It's just like three people are gone from one situation that really didn't have to happen, but it happened, and I did. I tried to help my family as much as I could, but this year, I just kind of I wrote my younger self a 5-page letter, and I apologized to her for everything that happened that was beyond our control. I told her that I was going to protect her and take more risk and stand up for her. And I promised her that I would finish the journey that I started, which is me being a creative and doing the things in my life that I wanted to do. So I just made peace with it. I took accountability for, the things that I did, and tried to be, loving and supportive and stuff like that. And, I don't think we ever get over it. You just kind of learn to deal with the grief of every day from your loved ones not being there.
Hmm. I think one of the three biggest sayings that I saw online when you lose somebody is the worst things to say is get over it, quit
Yeah.
playing victim,
Right.
because we may try to get over it, but we're never going to get over losing our siblings, right? So just
Right.
sometimes, we got to teach people the right things to say sometimes, even though, they may
Yeah.
not, they're saying it in good intentions, like, oh, you'll get
Right.
over it. I'm like,
Right.
no, it's more like you will learn to live with it as time
Right.
goes. I said, oh, you'll
Right.
get over it. We got to
Right.
teach those different sayings, right, of what
Right.
to say to people, because someone says that to
Yeah.
me, I'm like, yeah, no, that's my brother. I'm never gonna get over it. You're
Exactly.
crazy.
Exactly. Exactly. And like for me, it's like I lost two brothers and a mom. So I only have one brother and one sister left. So it's like you can't get over that. Like at some point in time, your mom conceived all of those children. You all shared the same heartbeat, you know what I'm saying, which was hers. It's like you'll never get over that. You just learn to deal, to live with things, and hopefully you can have some loving and supportive people around you. And the only thing I can suggest is try to fill your life up with things that bring you joy, no matter how small or large they may be, you know.
Right. So, Nikki, let me ask you this, Nikki. If
Yeah.
if you have a friend that's dealing with these type of disorders, me as a friend, what is it that I can do to support someone that's going through something like this?
I think the biggest thing that someone can do is listen.
Yep.
The biggest thing they want to do is listen. Listen and don't judge them, because those are two things I feel that, especially with men, they want to be heard and they don't want to be judged. So
Right.
I would say keep on one, checking on them, two, just listen, and three, don't judge them, because
Yeah.
everyone's going through something. Those are the three biggest things I've learned through this whole process. And if they're
Right.
coming to you, just try to listen, because I just feel like with this world, no one wants to listen. They just want to be like, okay, let's hurry up, I'm up, done, and go move on to the next thing. So I think we just need to take a breath and listen,
Yeah.
because before social media, what do? We communicated, we talked,
Right.
we
Right.
were there for each other, we went out and did things, even if it's just coming over for a movie. That
Yeah.
that might help, or just be
Yeah.
like, someone's going through something. I just had a friend, I just got here in Chicago, and he's going through a legal thing and he's stressing out. So I took him out, get it off his mind, try to help him,
Yeah.
or else he was gonna, who would have
Yeah.
known that situation. So
Right.
I guess I would say just listen and don't judge.
Yeah.
So,
I would
go
say I would say
ahead, Deanna.
give them hugs too, because if you
True,
ask
true.
people when was the last time they had a hug, and normally, men, like when they were younger, they would go visit their grandmothers. Even grown men, like
Right,
if the grandmother's still alive, they'll go lay in grandma's lap, or they'll be like, I'm going to my mama house. But
right.
sometimes the mother and the grandmother is no longer with us. So it's like
Correct.
you be surprised on how much that helps them open up if you just give them a hug.
Exactly.
Okay, what I wanted to ask was, what are some professional signs that help is needed?
Uh, Being distant, not talking to anybody. Um, I'm just going to go through signs I saw with my brother. He came
Okay,
home for only a weekend instead of 2 weeks, which is not his normal. Started talking differently. Um, Drinking a lot more than he should have,
okay,
writing letters. I mean, there's just certain ways that people do that. But from my experience, most people are distant. They don't want to talk. They're not on social media. They don't want to be around nobody. And that's when the scary part does. Or it's the
Right.
opposite. They're going out all the time. They're drinking all the time. They're
Yep.
trying to do something else to fade away their pain. And
Yep.
those are like two of the biggest signs that we see with people doing that.
Yep.
okay. So what are some practical tips to manage this stuff? What is it that you can do like on a daily basis to
Right.
manage these type of behaviors?
Right.
I
Like
mean,
coping
I
mechanisms.
I like what T said about writing a letter to yourself and just keeping a journal, or talking to somebody, going to a
Hmm.
therapist. Just have that outlet to be able to manage how you feel. And I feel like
Yeah.
we don't have that a lot out here for men at
Mm-mm.
all. And so that's
Mm-mm.
why I created the Bowling for Brain Health, a mental Monet, where we do hand painting for bowling pins for men, because men need a
Hmm.
way to outlet, and that we got to create outlets
Right.
for them to want to talk. And so
Right.
that's what we're trying to do.
And
Like
I
with
was
your letter
like,
to
when I see men
yourself.
smiling, and happy or just like laughing, like that be bringing like so much joy to my face. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like, oh, he is really like having a good time because he's genuinely like smiling or laughing. Because you don't
Exactly.
really be seeing
Exactly.
it a whole lot.
Right.
No, no.
Okay. So in other words, you feeling pretty good about yourself as far as your health and your mental and your well-being.
I I I'm about, I would say 60/40
Okay.
with me personally, because of a loss. I'm not where I want to be in life, but I have a calling. So it's like I'm taking a chance of not doing my normal jobs I normally do to sacrifice for what I feel is in my heart,
Hmm.
stuff like that. But, or the loss is going to take a while. It's only been 3 years.
Right.
There's days I cry, like his anniversary day. I don't function. I can't
Yeah.
function. But on his birthday, I go release balloons. So, there's just certain things that will pop up or remind you, or,
Right.
hey, shut up, Ruby. Sorry. Or things will come up, like no Father's Day without him, or no
Yeah.
family photos, or some people just got to take
Right.
heed to something to remind them of them. So those are times that come up
Yeah.
for me personally.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's what I was saying. Like when people be saying get over it, if your mom is still here, your siblings are still here, or you did something, you be like, come on, bro, let's go hang out. Like if they,
Right.
you can't go hang out with them because they not here, or you can't call them and
No,
say, I'm feeling nervous about this, show that I gotta do, or whatever the case may be, or hey, what you doing this weekend, or whatever.
Right.
exactly.
So Nikki, let me ask you this: do you think setting boundaries can improve mental health?
And what kind of boundaries?
I mean, just setting boundaries to help manage stress, to prevent burnout, to ensure all your needs are being met, things like that.
I mean, it'd be great if we were in a better world, but this economy and the way things are right now, it's kind of hard to manage all of that to de-stress with, rents are going up, gas is going up, groceries are
Yeah.
astronomical, jobs are not like they used to be. They don't want to pay
Right.
what you usually get, or people aren't getting the
Right.
jobs that they used to get so easily with what they know how to do. So
Right.
it's kind of, you try to manage it the best we can in the circumstances in life in this world we're in, but it's a lot harder now since the pandemic. So I guess it's like your surroundings or your circumstances. You can try to manage it as best as you can, like go to the gym, Go do something that you like to do. Take your mind off things.
Yeah.
Like my other co-host on the radio show, he loves to garden. He's a gardener. Calvin, I'm sure, is his photography. Like
Right, right,
everybody
Yeah.
has something that helps them get it off their mind
Right.
sometimes. Sometimes we're
yeah,
just so chaotic trying to pay our
Right.
bills here, or take care of the kids, or go do this, that we don't take that
Right.
time to do it.
right.
Right.
Okay, hold
But
that
that
thought
be
there.
the thing.
Go ahead, Fiona.
Okay.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say that's the thing. It's like in the world filled with a lot of different pressures and bills and everything you gotta do. I just think everybody needs that one thing for themselves, like that makes them that's their
Right.
outlet.
Okay, everybody,
Exactly.
hold that thought, everybody. Give me 1 second. Okay. All right, I'm ready. Go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off, Fiona.
No, that's all I was just saying. Just like everybody just needs that one little thing that's their outlet. Like if a man, if he enjoys music, boy, you better play that music every chance you get. I mean, it's just like whatever is gonna. Sometimes you can't take a vacation, or you might can't buy that dream car you want right now, but you can eat your
Exactly.
favorite ice cream. You can put on your favorite shirt. You can put on your favorite song. You know what I'm saying? Like you can go
Right.
fight. You can go eat your favorite burger or make it at home. It's like just the little things that you do to help you cope, like every day.
Right.
And there's some things you can do at home. Watch your favorite TV show. Have someone
Yeah.
over for dinner. Uh,
Yeah.
I'm sure it comes up with dating as well. It's like we got to go
Yeah.
back to old school ways of doing
Yeah.
things with our friends or dating wise.
Yeah, but then too for the men, I mean, in some cases it's women too. Whoever is the provider or the big bulk of things are falling on them. When everybody asking them for something, normally it's not a lot of people calling them just to say, "How are you doing?" Like, is there something I
Yeah,
can do for you today? And you probably can't do nothing monetary, but if you can cook them a meal, give them a massage, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever the case may be, like you would be surprised how uplifting that would be for them.
exactly.
So, I know a lot of anxiety play a big part in all of this as well, right?
Mhm.
So what I
Yeah.
want to know is there any coping mechanism or strategy to manage that? I mean, each one
I
of
mean,
you ladies can answer.
I think the most common one is count backwards to 10. Think about
Yeah.
something of your favorite thing.
Yeah.
Uh, just go take a shower. Some people to go take a
Yep.
bath. Some people just go, but I really, people take the wrong ways, which is like taking drugs or drinking some
Yeah.
alcohol, and then alcohol more and more. So
Yeah.
we just gotta try to find more healthier ways to try, like you said,
Right.
decompress. Some
I
people just
would
go to
say,
sleep. I'm one of
yeah.
those where I eat edibles.
Look,
I'm from Colorado. It's legal, so sometimes it's just like,
yeah.
let me just do this, get my mind off of it.
Right.
I would definitely say go to sleep because it just eliminates all resistance and you feel better when you go to sleep because you're not, it's not on your brain no more. It's like you just take a time out. And I would also recommend like deep breathing.
True.
Just it's like you just got to put yourself back in the moment. Don't be so overwhelmed with thinking I got to do this, I got to do this, got you're one person. Sometimes you just got to stop. You got to take a second for yourself and you got to breathe and it's like I'm going to do this one thing and once I'm okay, then I'll go to the next thing. And you have to tell yourself that sometimes we be so busy chasing the bag and got this list where we're trying to complete 20 things off the list in a day. No, just stop. Save some for another day and if you don't get to it, don't beat yourself up over it.
So with that being said, ladies,
Mhm.
I know we've all had something tragic happen in our lives, even myself.
Mhm.
Um, with all that has been said, you ladies are in good standings and good spirits and high spirits, right?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, that's what's important. As long as you guys is in good spirits, um, like we lost Nikki there for a minute. Okay, there you go. She's back. As long as you guys are in good spirits, that's all. I think that's all that matters. And then, like I say, if you guys ever feel that the need to talk, you guys already know how I feel about certain situations and things. Deanna, you more than welcome to
You
call
know
me
I'm picking
anytime.
up the phone.
Right. And Nikki's the same way. Nikki reached out a lot. We've had several
Yeah,
conversations, and as
yeah,
many days she cried to me, so I know. I mean, I know the situation, so this is why I felt it was important for us to do this today. Because like you said,
yeah,
Nikki, I was unaware that this was mental health month, right? You said
It was Suicide Prevention Month.
suicide prevention month. Okay, let me correct that. See, I was unaware of that, So I'm glad you kind of brought that to my attention, and I know this means a lot to you. So this is the reason why I wanted us to do it for you.
Well, I learned one thing when I went to Charlemagne's event from a very good friend of mine named Jay Barnett. What hit me about his speech was he said most men do not get their flowers till they're dead. So
That's
give
true,
men their flowers while they are alive. And he
right?
handed flowers to Lamar
absolutely.
Rucker and Charlemagne. So I make it a point. May is Mental Health Awareness Month. June is Men's Health Month. This is Suicide Prevention Month. But reach out and give men their flowers. Like today, Kelvin, I give you your flowers. Thank you for being a friend. Thank you for being a good mentor to us and
Yeah,
helping us grow as two women in the industry. Like
Right.
yeah,
you don't have to give physical flowers, but men deserve their flowers while they're alive, and that just
right,
really hit me when you said that. Like most men don't get their flowers till they're dead, and so we got to give men their flowers while they're alive, whether it's props
right.
flowers or real flowers.
I
I gave
appreciate
two of
that.
my man friends real flowers at
Yeah.
a fashion show, and they didn't know what to do. They're like, "I've never gotten flowers from a
Oh,
woman." I'm like,
I
"Yeah,
look.
like ever."
I did it
So
too. When I say the biggest blush ever, it's like I've never gotten flowers.
yeah,
Yeah, I
so we got
appreciate
to
that.
give their men their flowers while they're alive. You
Yeah,
know what I mean? So that statistic
yeah,
hit me hard. Like, wow, that is kind of true.
yeah. It is. It is.
Nikki, I
And men,
really
they
appreciate you
don't
being here,
care.
though.
They be fine with the smallest gestures. Like really, just to
Right.
know
I
that
mean,
they're feeling
I'm
loved
gonna
and
speak.
appreciated.
Right. I'm speaking from a male perspective. It doesn't take
Mm-hmm.
much with us.
Mm-mm.
We are we are simple creatures, real
Yeah,
simple creatures.
Mm-hmm.
I know I am. It doesn't take much to please me. You know,
yeah,
um, like birthdays and things like that. I mean, that's all fine dandy, but you know, they ask what you want. Some cufflinks.
mm-hmm.
I'm simple.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to go spend a whole lot of money on me.
Right,
It
Mm-hmm.
doesn't take all that. It's just that
mm-hmm.
sometimes it's just the thought that counts. And that's
Right,
that's all it is. It's the thought that counts. Men can be very
yeah,
simple. It's just
right,
how you approach it.
right,
That's
Correct.
my take. It's how
yeah.
you approach it.
Correct.
You know. So let me ask you this, dear Nikki. Um, what's the difference between mental health and substance abuse? Is there how do they play? How do they coincide with one another?
I mean, there are some differences because some people could have mental health and learn how to manage their substance abuse. But in my history, I found a lot of substance abuse and mental health are tied, whether it's painkillers, alcohol,
Yeah,
because
Right.
that's their coping mechanism once they've
Right.
gone
right,
through that. Not a lot of people have a way to get out to cope with it. So
right,
that's why I try to create a way that men can just come for 4 hours, bowl, and have fun and have a way to cope with it without having to use those kind of tactics.
right,
But they're there. I mean, look at
right.
how, fentanyl's killing more people, but yet you don't want to make, marijuana legal, which helps. So it's like, you know, I guess the world kind of society makes it that way, I guess, government,
Right.
whatever. But there's some people who have to use it to maintain. I mean, I know my other brother, he has to smoke to, be calm or else he has anxiety attacks. It's just, I guess it depends on
Hmm.
what substance you're really using,
Right.
that it's addicting, non addicting, things like that.
Is this something that's hereditary?
Nope, not that I know of.
Okay. Your mom, dad, or nobody?
Nope. My brother that passed, he actually fell in the pit at Grease Monkey. They were supposed to have a net. So when he fell head first, had his head split open and from the front, and then after that he wasn't the same. He got addicted to painkillers and going down the route, quit having
Yeah.
painkillers. And once he was going through life situations, then got back to alcohol because his doctor did tell him you can't switch one vice for another. But with the pandemic happening and things going on, you know,
Right.
he went a different route. So I mean, that he did have a brain injury that led him to not think the same. Look at
Hmm.
poor Kanye. I'm sure with his injury, he don't feel the same either. So I
Right.
mean, the brain
Right.
injuries are that
Right.
sometimes. And sometimes it's just a mental thing where, like I said, with the pandemic, a man just feels like I can't do what I need to do. I feel less of a person.
Right.
So it just
Right.
depends on what mental state they're in.
Right.
Okay. When you say your brother fell, you say he fell where now? I'm sorry.
He was working like at Grease Monkey doing oil changes, and there's what's
Okay.
called a pit where they go downstairs and
Well,
change the
okay,
oil.
right. I see.
Yeah, they're supposed to have a net there, and his job did not have one as they were supposed to for that situation. He tripped over
Oh
an
my
air gun,
goodness.
fell into the pit head first, and split his head wide open. So ever since then, he wasn't the same person because he
Wow.
split it like right here in the frontal lobe. So that's what kind of triggered his mental health
Oh my
differences.
Yeah.
goodness.
And
Sorry,
was
so
any
sorry to hear that.
repercussions taken? Yeah, but with the company, because that could easily happen to anybody.
Exactly. I mean, I don't know if he chose to like sue them or not sue them.
Yeah.
That I mean, he was only 19 at the time. So, I
Yeah.
mean, it was really my mom and dad who handled all of it, but I
Okay.
mean, he got that what that injury led to was him being addicted to the painkillers, and the painkillers are what
Right.
caused him to be a person, you know. So that, you know, that changes
Yeah.
people.
Right.
I was just
Man.
talking. Remember, Kevin, we was just talking about that before we had got on, and I was like, I really don't like taking prescribed drugs and stuff
Right.
like that or whatever because
Absolutely.
you become addicted at some point if you're taking them, for a long period of time.
Damn, that's
And
sad. I
sometimes
didn't.
it's needed. Like my poor auntie, she needs it because her back hurts so bad she can't walk.
Hmm.
She doesn't want to
Right.
get addicted to them. She's trying
Right.
to get approval for them, and they're putting her through arm and a leg because so many people are getting addicted to it. So she can't even
Right.
get it for something she
Hmm.
truly needs that hurts. Because so many
Right.
people are using it in the wrong
Right.
ways. You know what
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean?
So, Nikki, let me ask you, what role does support play in these type of situations?
I feel support plays a huge role because most men are alone. They just want to be heard. They just want to be supported. They just want to be not judged. I mean, look at how many men have charges or gone to jail or but they didn't really do anything unless you hear their story that you what they heard like their side. Sometimes it wasn't even a big deal. They just were in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Right.
Everybody deserves a second chance. Everybody deserves to be grateful they're alive. And so I feel support plays a huge role because if you don't have that support and you're
Right.
feeling alone, it leads you to other thoughts and things. You know what I mean?
Right.
Do you think therapy play a big role?
I feel therapy can play a huge role. I mean, I'm a witness myself. I was molested as a child. I got had an abortion because I had an abusive relationship. I mean, I have the two therapists at those times. They were not. I did not like them. It did not work. I was like so skeptical to go back to a therapist at all. And
Yeah.
when I got referred to her name is Claudia now, like I am a firm believer that it helps because I would not still be sitting here talking to you without crying if it was before. I wouldn't be able to
Right.
sit here
Yeah.
and not feel the guilt I have or be able to feel like, what I am doing is needed. What I am doing is taking my hurt and turn to something positive. I would just keep second
Right.
guessing myself.
Yeah.
But you have to pair with the right therapist. And what I found out from her is not a lot of people can afford therapy if they don't have insurance. But who really
Right.
needs therapy? The people who are down on their luck and they don't have insurance. So how
Right.
can we help them?
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You say your therapist's name was Claudia?
Claudia, yeah.
Okay, let's give a round of applause for Claudia.
Yes.
Yay.
Major shout out to Claudia.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you know, like I said before, if there's ever anything I can do to show my support, I'm gonna do it. Um, Nikki, you already know that goes without saying. Deanna, you know this already. But if there's ever anything I can do to lighten the load, make the situation a little better, I'm gonna do that. Nikki, you know I've done that before. I've done that for you already. You know that.
Of course. And
So
we're here for you too, you're not
Right.
the only one. You be the strong
Yeah.
man all the time.
right,
We here for you too, I'm sure, right,
I can
Right.
Toya?
believe that. I believe that. I believe that wholeheartedly.
It takes
So
a lot. Like I was telling you on the phone last night, you do photography now with this industry changing so much.
right,
You took a big step to do a podcast. Like we're very. I know I'm personally very proud of you. Like
Yeah.
you get caught up in the industry changing so much. You're like, okay, what am I gonna do now? So
right.
give
Yeah.
props
That's
to
true.
yourself, man. You got one of the highest quality podcasts I've ever been on. I'm like, hey.
Well, like I said, the conversation we had last night, you have to change with the times, because
Right.
um the magazine, is not where it was anymore. It's not there
Right.
no more. So I had to move with the times. The times are steady changing, and you
Right.
have to keep up. And this is the reason why I'm still doing the photography. But now I converted over to doing the podcast because, I feel a passion for this. And the podcast, all the podcasts that I've saw and heard are pretty much sport podcasting, um, talking about celebrities, talking about
Mhm.
politics. You know, this not that type of podcast. That's not the type of podcast. I don't talk politics. We're not going to talk
Right.
about
Mhm.
celebrities over here. We're going to talk about real life situations where you and I can understand. We
Exactly.
dealing with real common issues, grown folks conversations. This is what this podcast is all about. We don't want to talk about what Jay-Z and Beyonce and them doing, and you know who cares, you know. But
Right.
I can relate to what you're saying. I can
Right.
relate to what Deanna's saying. They're in a totally different tax bracket.
Right.
Mhm.
They go through the same things we go through, but theirs are a little different.
Mhm.
Their situations are a little different, you know. So this is the reason why I chose to go this route that we're going, because I felt that situations like yours need to be actually heard.
Yeah.
It need to be heard. So
Yeah.
this is the reason why we came up with the name Situations the Podcast, because
Right.
we all have situations.
Right.
Correct.
You agree?
Agree.
Nikki, I know you're tired. I don't want to keep. I'm not going to keep you too long. But what I
I
want to
could go
do
all
is I
day
want
with
you.
y'all.
What I'd like for you to do now, just tell everybody where they can find you at and how they can reach you.
So you can find me on all social media platforms at Nikki Nicky Swizzy Swizzie Small, at Junior Joker Foundation for the nonprofit. You'll see a lot of great photos from somebody on this podcast on my page because he's been awesome. A little
Right?
risque, don't get me wrong, but we really appreciate people like you two to showcase what the cause is. And like I was telling Kelvin, we are going to be planning a Bowling for Brain Health tour in Vegas, Florida, Chicago. Shout out to Big Don Bishop and Four from Black Ink for Chicago. Don has been a very amazing friend to me since he's lost his sister as well to suicide. He's just been an amazing friend, and I don't know what I could do without good, like you said, Kelvin, good people who actually are about the cause, who
Right.
care.
Absolutely.
Also my friend Napalm in Chicago. Um, we had Charlie Clips, Mickey Fax, Brian McKinney from Miami Dolphins come to Denver. So shout out to all them. And we would love to have amazing people. Like I told Calvin, like you two, go interview other people. We need people to
Right.
interview people and ask these questions. So hopefully we'll be able to do one soon.
Yes, for sure, for sure. We'll somehow figure it out how we can make that happen. That's I don't
Right.
I don't see a problem with that. You know, anything for a cause,
Right.
we'll try to figure out to where it makes sense for us and makes sense for you guys as well. You know, Deanna, tell everybody where they can
Uh,
find you at.
I was so swept up in the conversation and everything. All right, you guys can find me on Facebook, Deanna Chester. Also on Instagram, Miss Deanna. I just say thank you for tuning in today and pay attention and just love on each other a little more.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
You are now watching
Don't worry about
Situations, the
you, Miss
podcast, where nothing is off limits.
Say it again, Nikki.
I said, where can they find you?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at Situations the Podcast, or you can catch me at Royal Divas Mad on Instagram. Facebook can catch me at Kelvin McCullum. I'm not hard to find. Trust me, I'm not. you know, I'm one phone call away. I'm one message away. You know,
Right.
you send me a message via any social media site, I will reply. I'm not. I'm not one of those type of photographers where I'm thinking I'm better than somebody else. I'm not going to do that.
Right.
You send me a message, I will reply. You send me any text message, I'm going to reply. So that's how you can get reach me. But everything will be in the description. Okay, Nikki. Once again, I truly appreciate you. I
Yes.
I
appreciate you
appreciate
taking the
you
time out
as
of your
well.
day. And once again, everybody, this is serious. Like Deanna said, we need to take more time out to love on each other and start paying attention to your loved ones and the people that surround you.
Right.
But before I let you go, Nick, I got one question. I got one question for you.
Of course.
One question. Before I let you go, your support system. Your support system. Do you have a strong support system and a strong team around you?
Yes, I'm very grateful to have good friends like another mom to me. Her name is Mama T. She's been there. She was the first one who had to come get me when I found out. I have family and friends like you, obviously. And, this whole situation also has put me to where I've had to weed out the bad people. I've had to weed out the bad ones. You know
Yep.
what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's good. Well, as long as your support system is there
Right.
intact, then that's all that matters. Like I said,
Right.
I'm gonna always be there. Always have been. I would tell a story, but I don't want to do that right now. I'm gonna leave that for another time, Nikki. You know what I'm talking about, right, Nikki?
I think I do.
Yeah, I'll leave that for another time, though. I'll leave that for another time. But
Part two, the sexy
right,
side. We got the serious side, so let's get the sexy side of us two women with you. You might be in trouble, bro. You got two beautiful women over here. You might be in trouble. Just saying.
oh man.
Especially with her beautiful smile.
Uh,
You in trouble.
thank you.
Okay, well that's gonna conclude our show for today. And hold on one second, let me run this real quick.
Thank you guys for tuning in to today's show. We greatly appreciated it. We look forward to seeing you next Sunday for another amazing episode of Situations the Podcast.
Okay, once again, Nikki, I truly appreciate you. Keep doing what you're
Yes.
doing. Keeping your brother's cause alive. And just remember, we here, we're here for you.
Right.
Okay? We're here for you. If you ever need us, reach out. We're here for you.
I'm
Okay?
here for you too always. Even though I just met the beautiful co-host, I'm here for you too, girl. We got a lot of similarities, so.
Well,
Thank you. Yeah, we do. We do
make sure you
actually.
guys link up. I'm always trying
Yeah.
to link people
Right.
up because nothing like a network.
Right.
When you have a
Exactly.
strong network, can't nothing beat that. Ain't nothing beat that.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so that's gonna conclude today's show. Once again, Nikki, we're gonna see you again for part 2. We have to do this
Our two
again.
sexy side
Right.
stories.
Part two. Part
Okay.
two, we're gonna talk. We're gonna have a whole different conversation.
Whole different sexual conversation. Just kidding. What? Oh, never mind. Did I say that loud?
Okay. All right, y'all. Nikki,
Okay.
y'all guys hold on, stay tuned for 1 second, okay?
Okay.
All
All
right,
right.
once again, I appreciate all that's tuned in. See you guys next week.
See you next week.